Hello students, welcome to the new lecture on the topic that is world history. So today we are going to know about how Italy was unified. In the previous lecture I have told you about the unification of Germany. So today we will know about how Italy was unified. Same like Germany, Italy was also in a disintegrated form. They were ruled by different big or small rulers, and these rulers have continuous dispute among themselves. They were jealous of each other. Okay, so let us see the map of Italy first. So this is a map of Italy before Napoleon. Okay, so this part is known as Piedmont Kingdom. It is also known as Kingdom of Sardinia. This island is also Sardinia, and the ruler who ruled over here was Italian, the only Italian ruler. Okay, so basically we can say these two parts, Kingdom of Sardinia, were under the rule of Italian ruler, and the king here was Victor Emmanuel II. Okay, now the rest of Italy was under foreign rule. In the north was the Austrian Empire known as the Habsburg Empire. In the south it was the rule of Bourbon dynasty which belonged to Spain. In the center part, the papal states were under the rule of popes, and the popes were assisted by the France. Okay, so in this way the whole Italy was under foreign rule except the Kingdom of Sardinia. Okay, now what happened when Napoleon Bonaparte conquered some part of Italy? Means this part of Italy was conquered by Napoleon Bonaparte and was merged into France. Now what happened when Napoleon came into power? Okay, he promoted trade, especially trade, and started free trading between the states. Now what happened when people started moving from one state to another state for their trading purpose? There was an interaction between the people, there was exchange of their culture, their religion, their traditions. This developed their feeling of nationalism, and people came to know that they all are one, they all have their common culture, heritage, and now is the time to unify Italy. Okay, now the people got that now we should unify. Instead, any other foreign rulers are ruling upon them, they should have their own ruler. Okay, so this, now here people wanted to be unified. Okay, now at one time came that Napoleon was declined, the power of Napoleon was declined. Okay, after the decline of Napoleon III, now Congress, Vienna Congress, what they did, they again disintegrated the whole Italy. But people wanted to be united, they wanted to be politically united under Piedmont Sardinia. But Vienna Congress again disintegrated the whole Italy. Due to this, people reacted against Vienna Congress. Many individuals and organizations were formed against Vienna Congress. They started revolting against Vienna Congress. As a result, what happened? Vienna Congress came to an end. Now from here only the unification of Italy was started. Okay, now basically Italy was unified into three phases. In first phase 1858 to 59, Lombardy was integrated into Piedmont Sardinia. There was a war between Australia and Sardinia, and finally Lombardy was merged into Piedmont Sardinia. Then in 1860, Parma, Modena and Tuscany was merged into Piedmont Sardinia. So here is Parma, Modena and Tuscany. Then there was an integration of Naples and Sicily also. The same during this second phase, Naples and Sicily was also merged into Piedmont Sardinia. Then in 1866, integration of Venetia was done. Venetia, which was under Austrian Empire, was merged into Piedmont Sardinia. And finally in 1870, integration of Rome was done. So basically this was the first phase in which Lombardy was merged. Into second phase, Rome, Parma, Modena and Tuscany was merged, and Naples and Sicily was merged, and finally in the third stage Venetia and Rome was merged into Italy. So in this way whole Italy was merged. Now one by one we will understand the whole process, how it was done. Before coming to the process of unification of Italy, we will know about there were few personalities or individuals and organization who played a very important role in the unification of Italy. So first we'll talk about Mazzini. Mazzini was the founder of the organization Young Italy. Now he was the first person who started work for the unification of Italy. He made an organization Young Italy, which was soon very much famous, and these organizations worked against the monarchy government or the foreign government who were there at the time in Italy, and fought against them, started revolution movement against them, but he was not that successful. Finally his movement was suppressed and he had to run away. Then there was Garibaldi. Now Garibaldi was also, he fought an organization that was known as Red Coat with the help of local ruler and local peasants and farmers. He captured the south part of Italy and removed the Bourbon dynasty from there and captured that place. Then comes Count Cavour. Now Count Cavour was the chief minister of Sardinia, Piedmont, Sardinia. Okay, and he was chosen by King Victor Emmanuel II. Okay, now this King Emmanuel II, he was the ruler of Piedmont, Sardinia. He appointed Count Cavour and gave all the responsibility of unification of Italy to Cavour. Okay, now here the role of Cavour starts, okay, in the unification of Italy. So we'll understand step by step how Italy was unified. Now we'll see the first phase of unification in which Lombardy was merged into Sardinia. First, Cavour, what he did, he played a very important role in the unification. He raised the issue of Italian unification at the international level and gained the sympathy of most of the European countries, especially France and Britain. Now second thing what he did, when Napoleon III was near the border of Sardinia for his holiday, he went to him and made an agreement with him. What was the agreement? The agreement was that if France will help Italy in the war with Austria, then what will happen? Nice and Savoy, two states are there which will be given to France, and there will be a matrimonial alliance between Italy and France. So as a result, France came for the help during the war, and Austria was defeated. Lombardy was merged into Sardinia, but still Venetia was not merged because in between France declared a ceasefire and declared the war in favor of Italy. So before the liberation of Venetia, the war was ended. Okay, so still Venetia, Parma, Modena and Tuscany were under Austrian rule. Okay. Now let's see how Parma, Modena and Tuscany was merged into Sardinia. Now these three states were very eager to merge with Piedmont, Sardinia. Okay, but Austria was not ready to hand over this state, and as Cavour have already raised the issue of international unification of Italy at international level, he have proved that how Austria is suppressing these three states. Okay. Now as a result, what happened? Britain said that he will not interfere into the matter of Austria and Italy, and France was already in the agreement with them. He has got Savoy and Nice, and he was already in the matrimonial alliance with Italy, so he also said that he will not help Austria. Okay, and at that time Cavour played very diplomatically. He said, let's people decide. Okay, let's people decide whom they want to be a part of. Means plebiscite was held over here. People gave vote in favor of Piedmont, Sardinia. As a result, what happened? These three states, Parma, Modena and Tuscany, was merged into Sardinia. Okay, so in this way, second phase of unification of Italy was completed. Okay, now it was the turn of integration of Naples and Sicily. Now what is here? There was one problem. It was situated in the south part, Naples and Sicily. Then it was ruled by Bourbon dynasty. And who were Bourbons? The Bourbons were the relative of Napoleon III. Now this was one of the main obstacles. Now how Cavour can remove the relative of Napoleon's from Naples and Sicily? So he cannot directly interfere because Napoleon have held many times. Okay, he have held during the merging of Lombardy and Lombardy. Okay, so he cannot directly interfere in the matter of Naples and Sicily. For that, what he did, he called Garibaldi for the help. And now Garibaldi was a revolutionary. He was not an Italian, so he was not related with Italy. Okay, so he called him, and now what Garibaldi did, Garibaldi united the local people over there and started a movement against the Bourbon dynasty. Finally, what happened? They attacked on the Bourbon dynasty and throw them away and captured Naples and Sicily. Now here there was a twist. Now Garibaldi met with Mussolini. Mussolini and Garibaldi both decided that they will not merge with Piedmont Sardinia. They wanted to be a liberal state. Okay, they were not ready to merge with Piedmont Sardinia. Now here the charge was taken by the king of Sardinia. Who was the king of Sardinia? Victor Emmanuel II. What he did? He conquered this place again and merged with Piedmont Sardinia. So in this way, Naples and Sicily were also merged with Piedmont Sardinia. Now what parts are left? Venetia was left. Venetia was still under Austria, and the Papal State, which was ruled by Pope. Okay, now we will see how they were merged. Okay, now it was the turn of Venetia to be merged into Piedmont Sardinia. Venetia was under the Austrian Empire. Okay, now Austria was the enemy of Italy, and Austria was also enemy of Germany. Why? Because it was also an obstacle in the unification of Germany. So what did Bismarck? Here Bismarck also plays an important role. Now first the charge of integration was taken by Victor Emmanuel. Now he went to Bismarck and signed a treaty. What was there in that treaty? That if Italy will attack Austria when there will be a war between Austria and Prussia, and that war was known as Sudewo War. And Bismarck have already planned about the war with Austria. Now Austria is the enemy of Germany also, and Austria is the enemy of Italy also. So what happened? During the war with Prussia and Austria, Italy attacked on Austria. As a result, Austria was defeated badly, in which, and in return, Venetia was given to Piedmont Sardinia. So here Victor Emmanuel played a very diplomatically, and finally Venetia was liberated and was merged into Piedmont Sardinia. Okay. Okay, now it was the final stage of unification of Papal States. Okay, now here Papal State was ruled by the popes. Okay, and popes were given protection by France again. And who was the king of France? Napoleon III. So again here was the same problem. Victor Emmanuel cannot interfere into the matter directly because he had a matrimonial alliance with Napoleon III. This was one of the reasons. Second reason was that after removing the Bourbon dynasty, who were the relative of Napoleon, so little bit Napoleon was angry with Victor Emmanuel. So right now he cannot take the risk to interfere into the matter of Papal States. So what he did, he decided that he will wait for the right opportunity. And soon, a few years later, he got a right opportunity. And what was the opportunity? The war between France and Prussia, which we have read in the unification of Germany. We know that there was a war between France and Prussia. Bismarck conducted this war, and Bismarck have already planned that there will be a war with France and Prussia. Okay. Now here Victor Emmanuel got a very good opportunity. During the war, France called all his army from Papal State back. Okay, now here at this time Papal State became weak. So what happened? Victor Emmanuel with his army entered into this state and very easily they captured the state, make Rome as a capital, and small part of Papal State was given to the popes to make them happy. Right now this place is known as Vatican City. Okay. So in this way finally the whole Italy was unified under Piedmont Sardinia. Okay. So I hope you have understood. In my next lecture I am going to explain you about the new topic. Okay. Thank you.